With so many interesting beauty launches recently, I'm here to give you a comprehensive review on everything new that I've tried in skincare and makeup. So if you're interested, then please continue watching. Starting off with the Biodance Bio Collagen Real Deep Mask, finally launched on Tira and I also think on Nykaa for 380 rupees. Yep, and I picked up 4 of these. I've used one so far and my experience was pretty average. I think that's because you're supposed to be using, or you should ideally use this after you do all of your skincare. Put this on and the next morning you wake up with really glass-like, very juicy, very plump skin. I unfortunately did not try it that way, which I don't understand why I did not do that, because it kind of makes sense to do your skincare first. But anyways, I washed my face and on a very clean, dry face, I put this on and I felt like it did not do much for me, unfortunately. Also, let's talk about the experience portion of it, because a lot of people are wearing this as their night mask, sleeping with it, and the next morning they wake up and they remove it. I did not find it very comfortable. Firstly, I did not wear this as a night mask. I wore this during the day, and even then I felt like before it kind of like attaches to the skin, it moves a lot, it slides and slips a lot. You kind of have to keep readjusting it, and the more you readjust, the more the chances of the mask tearing in certain sections, which I did notice happened with me. So I'm not sure how people are sleeping with this on. Also, in my experience, it does take about 1 hour for the sheet mask to completely attach to your skin. Otherwise, like I said, it keeps moving. So if you do want to wear this as a night mask, I would say apply this about half an hour to 1 hour before you go to bed, and then it should completely attach and not move as much as it does when you initially apply this. Now, overall, what do I think of these? I think these are nice to have, but do you absolutely need these? I don't think so. Now let's talk about this brand that launched very recently on Tira. It's called Sungboon Editor. I think this is a very famous Korean brand. I have seen their green tomato pore serum, which is quite famous from this brand. But what I found really interesting is this Silk Peptide Intensive Lifting Ampule. It says anti-wrinkle, firming, brightening, and this basically has a lifting ampule containing patented silk peptides and collagen threads that deeply enriches the skin with abundant nutrition. The way you receive this product is, these are 2 separate entities, and once you're ready to start using this, you kind of like inject this syringe, almost, yeah, syringe into it, and then you kind of like, then you basically use the syringe to dispense the product like so. So I have the product in here, hope you can see that, and you can see the silk threads as well. Dispense it, there we go. So I just like to break down the whole silk thread and then apply on my skin, and it's very nice and hydrating. So oily to combination skin, I think you're going to really like this. I've been using this from almost, I want to say 1 week now, and because I have dry skin, of course I cannot just rely on this. This is a very gel liquidy product. I do have to follow up with moisturizer, but on the days I do use it, I have seen a nice plumpness to my skin the next morning. This is quite expensive though, so I think the MRP of this is 2,999 rupees, but I think I paid somewhere around, I want to say 2,500, even then quite expensive. So it's quite early to talk about the long-term benefits of it. It's just been 7 days that I've tried this, but so far I quite like this. And is it unique and interesting? Absolutely. Like, it almost looks like an injectable, but it's not. I think it's quite unique, it's quite cool. The whole silk thread is super interesting to me. So again, you're not missing out if you don't try this, but if you're somebody who likes to try super unique and interesting products with your skincare, makeup, then I think this is a good option. Let's move on to makeup now. I have again quite a few interesting launches, and something that totally blew my mind are these magnetic set of lashes. So you get a liquid eyeliner, magnetic one, and a pair of lashes, and this is from Evor Beauty. Now I did see some of their ads on Instagram, but I was quite hesitant to pick these up or try for myself with my own money, because, well, when the NYX version of this launched, so it comes in this plasticky wrap, and there's a magnetic liner and a lash along with it, and I think I paid almost 3,000, and then it quickly went out of stock, and it did not work out the way I wanted it to work. I think that's why it just did not have the hold that is needed for the magnet or your lashes to last. But this one, on the other hand, is completely opposite. And this is one time that I'm glad that the brand sent me a product, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have tried it, and I wouldn't be here recommending this to you, because this is incredible. Okay, if you've already watched the shorts, you know I've talked about this in detail, but this is what I have on. It applies super seamlessly. It does not feel heavy, at least not as heavy as your glue or the regular lashes. And the liner is super jet black, so I don't have to go with my regular liner and then top it off with this magnetic liner. That whole two-step thing is completely eliminated because this in itself is super black, and I'm able to create like a nice precise wing with it. This is incredible. This is my second time wearing it, and I was able to pop these on in less than 5 minutes, both of these, which is incredible. And I'm not even a beginner. I've been using lashes for about, I don't know, 7-8 years, but even then I absolutely love this. This is going to be so handy during the shadi season, or if you're just somebody who attends a lot of events and you love wearing lashes, you need to get this, you guys. They have other styles also. And I've ordered 2 of them, the more natural version of it, but the one that I'm wearing today are the style What the Fluff, and amazing. It's just beautiful. Another thing that I do want to point out is that, let's say you mess up with the placement, so if you apply a little too close to the inner corner, you can actually remove it and reapply. It sticks on just as good as it did the first time, which is this is great, you guys. This is great. You need to check these out. So Milk Touch launched on Tira, and I had to get their Milky Glow Cushion Foundation because one of the skincare influencers that I follow recommends this a lot. She uses this on a daily. It has a very nice light coverage, but gives you this very reflective glow, is great for dry skin, everything that I need in a daily base product, which is why I picked this up. I bought mine in the shade 26N Latte, and this is what I'm wearing right now, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say this is beautiful for dry skin, okay? And it's a proper hybrid of skincare plus makeup. Now, I specifically do not have very good skin on this side. I'm breaking out ever since I came back from Vietnam. I'm sure it's all the junk eating that I did, but it's showing up on my skin right now, and even then, you can see it is sitting so beautifully. It's not like exaggerating anything, and it's also not like bunching up around my pimples. And of course, overall also look at the glow that it is giving me. I have zero highlighter on, no powder highlighter, no cream highlighter. It's all this, and the coverage is also quite nice. For whatever reason, I thought the coverage would be very negligible, but that's not the case because I have been doing underpainting technique where I apply my blush before and then go ahead with this, and you can see it has pretty much covered the blush. Only a little tiny bit is peeking through, which is exactly what I want because the blush that I had on is super pigmented. I'm gonna come to that in a minute, but I think this is incredible. It has 60% moisturizing essence, some really good ingredients as well, and I also really like the cushion on this. The only thing that I do not like is this sponge that comes along. Again, I'm just not a fan of the sponge in general that comes with the cushion. I just like to go ahead with my brush, and there's a mirror as well, which is nice. It's already residing in my everyday makeup bag because not only does it look beautiful, it also lasts beautifully. Like, of course, it does wear off throughout the day, but it doesn't wear off in a weird way, which is exactly what I want. So if you have dry skin, I would highly recommend this, but for my folks with oily to combination skin, may not work for you. Okay, I really want to give a quick shout out to this new mascara that I tried from Stage 929. I don't know if this is a new launch or not, but it is pretty new to me and I've been loving this. So the reason why I picked it up is because I wanted a tubing mascara, because I wanted my makeup removal process when I'm in Vietnam very easy and simple. And one thing that I hate about removing my makeup is removing my mascara, because generally, even if it's not waterproof, it's quite difficult to remove even with your oil cleanser. But this is not, because the way it removes is it comes out as tube when it comes in contact with water. All you have to do is just like press it with water, just like so, hold it on, and then drag it down, and you can see all the tubes coming out. So it's quite easy. And apart from the whole removal process and this being a tubing mascara, this also provides a lot of length and some volume, which is exactly what I want. I've been really into lengthening mascaras, and most importantly, does not feel heavy on the eyes. So not only did I use this during my travel, I'm continuing to use this even now, and this is nice. Mucha Beauty launched their Cloud Kiss liquid blushes, and the shade I have right now with me is called Peachy Pop, and this is how the packaging looks like. I think it's very on brand with their whole theme, and packaging is again quite unique. So when they released that this is going to be a mousse formula, I was immediately disappointed, because so far none of the mousse formulations have worked for me, especially base makeup wise. But this is so unique. I don't know how they have pulled this off, but even though mousse, the pigment is there, It does not skip or basically like bunch up in certain areas or look patchy. Patchiness is like biggest problem when it comes to any mousse formulations, right? But not with this one. It's super pigmented, and which is why I've been actually loving, or I've gone back to rather, the underpainting technique that I absolutely love for a very natural base. That's exactly what I've done even today. So don't get scared when you see the demo. I've intentionally applied a lot of it because I knew that I'm going to cover it up with my cushion foundation. But otherwise, if you're not doing underpainting, just a tiny dot is enough. Apply with one finger, blend with another. It blends beautifully on top of your makeup as well. Nothing gets lifted. I have not tried applying this with a brush, so I'm not sure how the experience is going to be with a brush, but with fingers this blends beautifully. And surprisingly, I also really like the shade Peachy Pop on me. I've never really been a fan of corally shades on myself. I feel like it kind of washes me out, or just, I don't know, doesn't really stand out as much as I would want to, but not this one. I think there's a little bit of warmth and like red undertones to this peachy color, and because of which I've been really gravitating towards this. I think this is the first time in my life that I'm using a peachy blush that actually looks good and stands out. By the way, in case you're wondering what I'm wearing on my lips, I have lip liner from Fae Beauty in the shade Borderline, and I have Marusha Beauty's Brownie as my lipstick. I think these two pair really well together. Now let's talk about two new lipsticks that I tried recently. Both of these are Bullet. First, let's talk about the Insight one. So these retail for I think 200 rupees if I'm not wrong, and the packaging, even though looks quite premium, does not feel premium. That's the only problem I have with this, and I am not comfortable carrying this with me while travel because I feel like, what if this comes off? Even though this is magnetic, it doesn't feel very secure. That's the only complaint I have. Otherwise, if you've already watched my video, you know that I really like these. The three shades that I have are beautiful. I have Pina Colada, which is like a nice pinky red but more of an everyday red, and then I have Aqua Velvet and Mojito. Now I personally really like these for the price. Even though these are so affordable, these do go on your lips feeling quite rich and luxurious. These do not settle into that matte formula almost immediately. It takes it about, I would say, 20 to 30 minutes, and then it starts to look a lot more matte than when you initially applied this. And even though it does settle into slightly matte finish, it does not feel uncomfortable, does not exaggerate any lip lines. Even though I have dry skin, dry lips, it does not exaggerate anything, and it lasts a decent amount of time. I think 3 to 4 hours with normal meals, or less if you are having super oily meal, which I think is pretty generic for any Bullet lipstick anyways. So I think these are pretty good for the price. The shades they're offering is really nice, and the packaging could have been better. Last but not the least, I also tried Rufa Beauty's Soft Blur Matte Lipsticks. Now these retail for I think $7.99 if I'm not wrong. I'll mention the prices. And two of my favorite shades have to be Nude Queen and Nude Intense. Again, I have two-part shorts video already live on my channel and also on Instagram, so you can go check out all the other shades. Formula on these is slightly different than the Insight one because these going on already feel quite matte. Like you can see there's barely any moisture even in the swatch. It does take you like a couple of swatches to get the maximum pigment, but once you do, it's on, it's there, it is quite long lasting. If I have to simply describe the formula and how it looks on the lips, these are your Korean blurry lipsticks in a bullet format. Okay, that's what these are. And the shade Nude Intense, a beautiful chocolatey brown, and the shade Nude Queen actually reminds me of Charlotte's Pillow Talk Medium. I think even though I don't have the shade, I have seen swatches and I think it's very close to that. So yeah, I think if you have super dry lips, just, you know, proceed with caution, but otherwise you're going to like this a lot if you love a super matte lip. So with that, we have come to an end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then please give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell notification right next to it. You'll be notified when I post next. Follow my Instagram right over here, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.